Hello everyone, welcome to the editorial analysis of the Shankar IAS Academy, brought to you by the Civil Media team. And this video is for the editorial articles for the date of 6th of January 2025. So looking into the topics for discussion, the first article titled The Outlook for India from the Hindu discusses about the geo importance and international relation of India with other countries and what is expected for the year of 2025. Next article titled A Journey to Visibility from the Indian Express talks the importance of the unorganized sector workers and their link to the e-Shram portal. So without any much further delay, let's get into the articles discussion one by one. Now moving on to the first news titled A Journey to Visibility. So this news discusses about the importance of the unorganized sector workers and the migrant workers and how their workforce should be included into the e-Shram portal. So we will be talking more about the portal and about the unorganized sector, but first we need to understand the importance of this article. So the article mainly discusses the importance of our Indian governance when it comes to the social welfare schemes, how important these social welfare schemes for the laborers, especially the organized as well as the inorganized sector workers, and how we need to bring the importance of social inclusion through their social security exclusion through policy implementation and gaps, addressing problems related to the vulnerable groups which can be both from the formal as well as the informal sector workers, and how the labor laws such as the Wages Act and so on, and how they would be helping to bring in labor reforms, labor rights, and ultimately bringing the importance of poverty elevation, bringing the importance of urban poverty, bringing the importance of economic development at the end, and addressing the large or macro issues related to economics. So these topics are very much related to the mains syllabus, which comes in both paper 2 and paper 3, which can be under the governance and under the economic development. So in light of this article, we'll be seeing a lot of concepts. Before that, we'll be seeing a mains question and we'll move on to the framework. So this is the mains question. So here we would be discussing about the workforce, the government initiatives and the social welfare related to the unorganized sectors, and I also asked the students to bring in their answer format in the comment section. Now let us see what is first an unorganized sector. So the definition stands as the economic activities and workers outside the formal regulation. So formal regulation nothing but a formal sector or an organized sector. So looking into the characteristics, they include the informal jobs, for example daily workers, gig workers, domestic workers, daily agriculture, small farm laborers, and so on. So the characteristics also include people who are included in low wages, irregular hours, lack of social security, and no job protection. So these are the characteristics when it comes to workers who are into the unorganized sectors. So let us see who belongs to the unorganized sector. First, as I told before, the agriculture workers who are like farmers, landless laborers, and plantation workers. Next can be daily wage laborers who are into work such as the work bricklings, that is the firing of the brick, beadi making, cracker making industry, garment manufacturing industries, and so on. Looking into the other sector, which is the construction workers who are laborers in the construction, demolishing of a building and having a maintenance for the building can be taken as an example for construction workers. Next would be the domestic workers who are known to be as housemaids, cooks, cleaners, and caretakers, and the self-employed workers who are street vendors, hawkers, small shop owners, artisans, gig workers, and so on. So all of these laborers have the characteristics of being in an informal job, having low wages, have irregular hours, has a lack of social security, and no job protection. Now looking into the challenges and problems when it comes to the unorganized sector, first is the lack of job security. So they can be taken off from the job at any time, they can be taken off from the job by sudden layoffs and so on. Next is having low wages. The next problem can be absence of having a social security. So they are not into the pension scheme, they are not into the provident scheme fund, and so on. Next is poor working conditions. So industries like the brick making, industries like the garment making, industries like related to dyes, and so on. Then industries like firecrackers doesn't have a safe environment for the workers. Next is no legal protection. They mostly don't come under a lot of labor's act, which can be a great problem for them. Next is ultimately exploitation, which can lead to their alienation. Next would be inadequate data. Not having a database about the unorganized sector workers can take them off from the grid or the chart of implementing a lot of welfare schemes for them. Then of course gender disparities, which we would be seeing in furthermore slides on about their percentage. Next is economic vulnerability. So especially economic vulnerabilities like the COVID or during the inflation period, they are the ones who are affected the most. And finally the lack of skill development. So here the scope of giving them a training, proper training, having getting them involved into the educational purposes or knowing the basics of the work is very very less. Now let us see what is e-Shram portal. So e-Shram portal is a government initiated website, where they are registering the unorganized sector workers and the migrant workforce into their portal to stand as a national database of unorganized workers, along with linking in with their Aadhaar card. So it was launched on 2021. Here they facilitate, or the objective is to deliver the social security and welfare schemes especially. So here we did see the problem of not having inadequate data, having economic vulnerability, having low wages, having the absence of social security. Here all of these problems are much of a major issue or a challenge, because they are not having a formal sector to represent them. So e-Shram portal stands as that representative for them to have a national database, along with a guideline or to streamline the welfare schemes to reach them. So this is the official website of the e-Shram portal. Here they come under the Ministry of Labour and Employment. Here they are creating national database for the unorganized workers, and it is the first ever national database of unorganized workers, including the migrant workers, construction workers, gig and platform workers. So gig workers are nothing but they are temporary workers who or freelance workers who get into jobs which are related more to on a daily basis, and also jobs which are related to the digital platforms and so on. So for example, Swiggy workers, Amazon workers can be taken as an example. Now looking into the eligibility for the e-Shram portal, first the age should be under 16 to 59 years. Looking into the employment nature, they should be in the unorganized sector or self-employed, daily wage or gig workers, etc. They should be posting an Aadhaar card so that they would be linked with a bank for streamlining the importance of welfare schemes. So there is financial inclusion at the end of the day. Next is having a valid mobile number which is linked to the Aadhaar card. They have to possess a bank account, and they should not be a member of Employment Provident Fund Organization, Employment State Insurance Corporation, and National Pension Scheme. So these all of these are related to the organized sectors. Here in the Employment Provident Fund Organization, they provide pensions, provident funds and insurance to the workers who are related to the organized sector. In Employee State Insurance Corporation, they provide medical benefits, cash benefits, health insurance to workers who are in the organized sector. And the National Pension Scheme is a long term saving scheme where it is provided both for the organized as well as the unorganized sector through certain initiatives or certain schemes, which we would be seeing in later slides. So anyone to get into being registered into the e-Shram portal, they should not be a member of these three sectors, as they are mostly for the organized sector workers. Now looking into the one-stop solution, here the e-Shram portal is integrated in with the One Nation One Card program, the Manrega, PM Shram Yogi Mandan, which you would be seeing in later slides, National Social Assistance Program. So they all are integrated together to bridge the gap in the social security and improve the accessibility. So here this is the official image of the e-Shram along with the one-stop solution. It's a single window for the unorganized workers to provide options like key security and welfare schemes. So they bring in the inclusion of pension, insurance, credit, health, skill development, housing, food security, which we have seen it as a lot of characteristics as well as the challenge. They also try to bring in the importance of progress towards the gender insensitive policies, as 53.59% of registrations were women. Now we have seen the initiative when it comes to the unorganized sectors such as the e-Shram portal. The other initiatives for the unorganized workers can be Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana, where they bring in the insurance and disability coverage for the accidental death. Next is Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana, where they bring in life insurance coverage. Next would be Atal Pension Yojana. Here they have guaranteed pension after the 60 years. And next is the National Social Assistance Program, where they include the widow pension, on old age pension and other family benefit schemes. And the next would be Unorganized Workers Social Security Act. They are provided with legal framework for social security measures. So this act stands as a labor act to include them into the labor workforce. So this stands as the labor reform. So ultimately there is a bridging of gap with the social security exclusion. Now, after knowing these other initiatives which is being linked with the unorganized sector, now let us look into few benefits of the e-Shram portal. Here they are providing accidental insurance on rupees 2 lakhs under the Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana. Then they have easy access to the Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana, Atal Pension Yojana and other security schemes, and also information on the government schemes and employment opportunities. So after looking into these initiatives, we can understand the challenges such as documentation barrier, lack of Aadhaar card, mobile number issues, other social security gaps. Here not all registered workers are benefited through these initiatives, having neglect of having neglect of older laws such as the Unorganized Social Act that we have seen, the Interstate Act when it comes to the migrant workers. Lot of acts are not implemented properly, and other structural challenges such as migrants face, having stigma and so on. So these initiatives try to build in the morality, the welfare as well as the financial status of the unorganized sectors in a massive manner. So I hope this article is very clear. We have seen a lot of perspectives. I know it is too much to understand and a lot of information, but I request the students to look into the video again and again to understand the different perspectives when it comes to understanding the importance of the unorganized sectors, because of course they would be doing a lot of work, but their work cannot be recognized when there is any database for them, and the importance of financial or profit inclusion for them, as their work would be going in vain, because without of these unorganized sector workers, I don't think everyday work would be very easy. So I hope this article is clear. Now let us move on to the next article. Look at the article, the titled the outlook for India in the year ahead. So this article basically discusses about the geopolitical importance and other international relations which would be very important for our country India, which includes other countries like China, Russia, the scenario in the southwest region, South Asian region, and other geographically important region for the year of 2025, and set challenges and impact ahead of us. So in light of this article, we'll be seeing a framework question and important contentions or important debate or important initiatives with different countries that we would be seeing in further slides. So this article is very easy to understand. There would be a lot of perspectives to get, but if you know a lot of initiatives according to each of the country, it would be easy to connect to the country India. That would be such as knowing the global interest of a country India, knowing the national interest of the other countries, and how in these two countries interest will be standing as a global initiative or a global interest throughout the world. So this is the question: examine India's key geopolitical and economic challenges in 2025, suggest measures to address them for achieving regional stability and global influence. So it's very easy to understand. I also expect the students to put their answer in the comment section. So let us move on to the article. In the article, they have discussed with countries like the US, China, Russia, and so on. So first we'll see the relations with the United States, looking into the economic engagement. On the initiative of boosting the economic engagement, India and US have highly achieved to bring an increase in their bilateral trade, especially in the year of 23 to 24 to almost 100 billion. And India showed the signs of having the trade surplus, where a country's exports are more comparing to the imports of the country. So here trade surplus is nothing but how a country's products or trade market is preferred by other countries, and there is exporting of those products for profitization, where trade deficit can be opposite, where more than the exports we are depending on the imports. So here almost 32 billion for India is shown as a trade surplus from the country US. And also other initiatives such as the India US initiative on the critical and emerging technologies, where there is focus on semiconductors and AI. So we have done a lot of videos related to the semiconductors, where they are one of the most important material when it comes to energy sector, renewable energy, in the engagement of military equipments, engagement of having in the AI, also in the technology such as the Internet of Things, which are like basic smartphones and so on. So the importance of semiconductors are very much enlightened with our relationship with the country US. And looking into their defense collaboration along with Japan, Australia, and US, India, they Quad membership has a focus on the regional security when it comes to the Indo-Pacific region, which highlights the importance of marine geographical. Next is the BECA agreement, Basic Exchange and Cooperation Agreement. Here, this agreement brings in the importance of having defense and security cooperations. Their key objective is to bring an enhanced intelligence sharing. So, intelligence sharing involves involvement of sharing of military data, sharing of geospatial data, having a peaceful interoperability, that is nothing but having a smooth communication and talks during any contentions. So through these initiative, the defense collaboration has been highly increased and given importance for the budding of the Indian and the US relations. Now looking into the relation with China, so mainly we have a lot of border issues, that is the line of control, line of actual control tensions. For example, we can take the 2020 Galwan Valley clash. Here also other high level talks are ongoing to efforts to de-escalate these problems. And recently there has been a growing of the HMPV virus. So there is not just a contention for the India but also a contention for the global order. Now looking into the trade relations with China, we have engaged in the bilateral trade to increase economic ties almost to 100 billion in 2023, and there has been a sign of trade deficit, where 100 billion for India is almost a trade deficit amount. So reasons like curbing on the Chinese apps and investment have been an aim to reduce the dependency on a country like China. So not just in a good term, we should also see the other side, the pros and cons when it comes to relationship with the country. Now looking into the relation with China on the sector of energy cooperation, so Russia can be standing as a major crude oil importer, which is almost 22% for a country India. Here Russia has surpassed the role of Saudi Arabia as they are the largest oil supplier for India in the 2023. And having to look into their defense ties, they are significant buyer of Russian defense equipment, especially for the military stance. Military equipment like the S-40 missile system, a surface to air military system, it is also one of the key acquisitions. So there are a lot of military equipments which are very important for India, and there has been a defense ties with Russia along with the country India to have more or strong representation in the geospatial as well as in the geographical as well as in the marine development. Now we have seen three important countries where there is engagement of global issues. Now let us look also into the other regional dynamics. First is with the South Asian countries. Here we do have challenges like the neighborhood challenge, where there is Chinese influence in the country Nepal, then in economic instability for our country like in Sri Lanka, and having political uncertainty in Bangladesh, such as their election issues and so on. Country like Maldives, there has been an effort to strengthen their ties through the Greater Malay Connectivity Project, and also there is involvement of tourism, especially with the country Maldives. And looking the dynamics of India with the scenario of the West Asian countries, there has been balancing relations with country like Iran, Saudi Arabia, and Israel. We have also made a detailed video on relation of India and West Asia, so that can be used as a reference. Then also sectors which includes energy sector and regional stability are importance when it comes to engagement with the West Asian countries. So the infrastructure development of the Chabahar port, which is the access to Afghanistan and Central Asia, helps in the importance of having a trade import and export facilities. Now looking into the strategic initiatives on a general manner for country India, first is the importance of Indo-Pacific strategy. Here India emphasizes free and open Indo-Pacific, which counters China's assertiveness. For example, the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework focuses on the trade, technology and supply chain and other logistics involved. Under defense modernization, here India is declared in 2025 as the year of defense reforms, focusing on the indigenous protection under the Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative. So for example, induction of the INS Vikrant, which is India's first indigenous aircraft carrier, signifies the importance of self-reliance, which is the aim of the Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative or the Viksit Bharat initiative. Here, looking into the importance of bringing in self-reliance and trying to reduce the dependency on countries, India focuses on indigenous defense protection, includes jet like Tejas fighter jet. These can be taken as an example. And looking into the economic reforms, initiatives like Make in India, Digital India initiatives brings in the importance of streamlining the welfare schemes as well as bringing in the importance of connecting the digital gap. So for example, other economic reforms such as the Unified Logistic Interface Program, it is nothing but it's a streamlining of the supply chain operations, which is nothing but to improve the logistics and the supply sector of India. So they come under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, and also it is managed by DPIIT, that is nothing but Department of Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade. So along with the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, and along with the department, there is also importance for the national logistic policy. So these such initiatives enhance the economic reforms, especially for a country like India. Now looking into the energy security, we are having a main goal in diversifying our energy resources and trying to bring our dependency over many countries, especially for crude oil, and trying to replace it with the renewable energy. Here especially reducing the reliance on the West Asian countries. So renewable energy, of there is a goal of achieving of 176 gigawatts with the capacity from the year of 2023. Then looking into the sustainable development, ultimately there is importance for the climate action in many various platforms, many various initiatives. India's one of the main goal is to bring a sustainable development, and at the same time bringing in the importance of the challenges and impacts faced by the developing countries and how important funding is important. So missions like the net zero emission of 2007 by the year of 2070 and other national green hydrogen mission helps in the importance of sustainable development and tackling the climate change, which is an immediate question. And finally, looking into the geopolitical tensions such as the border disputes with China, for example, the Doklam standoff, and other military preparedness for a country like India, standing as a key suggestions when it comes to addressing a lot of other issues with other countries. So I hope this article is clear. This article also has a lot of perspectives, but it is very easy to understand with the initiatives and the interest, as I have mentioned before. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you are at this end of the video, and don't forget to give a like, comment and a share. And to further not to miss any other contents, subscribe to our channel as the prelims are nearing. So it will be very useful for having a regular notifications on the video. So thank you so much. Have a nice day.